There's a book on sexuality that I highly, highly, highly recommend, and personally, it helped me so much. It's this book, Come As You Are, The Surprising New Science That Will Transform Your Sex Life by Dr. Emily Nagoski. Many people have secrets and shame around their sexuality, and they are afraid that if people know about that part of them or they share it with their partner, they will be judged. I think what's great about this book is that it can help people in a lot of different situations realize that, in fact, that they're normal and they shouldn't be ashamed that they are a little bit different. And I can only share it from my personal perspective. And my situation is very unique among the general population, but still know that this book will help almost everybody to have better sex. Personally, I spent my whole 20s thinking that I'm asexual or gay because I don't react to men the way the movie portrays or most people would do it. To be specifically, when I first started dating, I thought that, it's a social norm for Americans to get very physical on dates. So, I did make out with people or have some physical touch, but I did not feel anything. It could be just like a doctor getting my temperature. And it's also annoying and off-putting sometimes because I feel I'm not loved and respected as a human being. I was treated like a robot, right? And you're just trying to click one button to get another reaction. And it was so much pressure because the men were having this erection or they were like heart beating fast and their faces flushing and whatever. And I was just like, no. And after a while, I just stopped because I think, I must be gay or asexual. But then I'm not sexually attracted to women either, so I must be asexual. And then I also did the ultrasound test to look at the reproductive system, and it was normal. And I tested my blood on my estrogen levels are normal. And I have never been sexually abused in any way. So I must have the gift of singleness as Paul says in the Bible. But at the same time, I know I always wanted intimacy. And also, I still like to look at good-looking guys. And if I see a super handsome guy in front of me, my heart races and my face flushes. Like, I still have those kind of attraction toward men. So I was very confused. So this book helped me tremendously in two ways. One is to help me realize that there is a great variety of triggers for people's sexuality. Just like plants, right? Some plants need a lot of sunshine, some doesn't, or some need a lot of water and some doesn't, right? So if you want to cultivate different plants, you have to cultivate it according to its nature. The same is for human sexuality. We have the physical trigger, we have the emotional trigger, we have the social trigger. So it's so many different triggers, and different people respond to different triggers to a different degree. So what I'm facing, or what a lot of people are facing, is that right now the society tells you that there is only one way, one right way to do it. And this one way is actually more catered or is derived from man's sexuality. Because for man, it happens normally earlier on, right? And is visual triggered. And men also respond a lot to, physical touch. Like if you touch that, and a lot of people do have a response. So, and that's great, that's perfectly normal. And then also a lot of movies, you see the guy and the girl, they're both hot. And then they see each other and they just start making out. Or, they would go through difficulties and sacrifice life for each other just because they took a look at each other. And then they have sex, and then they die for each other, right? Within this 1 hour window. Physical touch, appearance, of course, that's one way. Very efficient way to trigger sexuality. But the problem is that, this is a whole landscape of sexuality. And for people like me, my trigger more lies, on the outside. Of course, physical attraction matters, but I need a lot more different cues. So through some reflection, I started to think, okay, what are the moments that I feel maybe a little aroused by men? And I realized that for me the cue is men being really gentle and understanding and caring and almost a little bit like a bigger sister. For example, one arousing factor for me is man cooking. Like somehow that image, like a properly looking man cooking, just makes me feel like, oh, And also the other point is being a little bit OCD and extremely clean. I don't know, something about like shampoo and soap smell on the man just arouse me. And also when men are very focused on what they're doing, like if they're focused on their work or if they're like giving a presentation and being very charismatic and confident, and that also arouses me a little bit. So as you can see, none of them requires direct physical contact. So for someone like me to be sexually aroused, there needs to be time, there needs to be communication, there needs to be, context, and they need to show a lot of care toward me. That's the only way I get aroused. So there's nothing wrong with me. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only case. A lot of women are like me. It's just that sometimes they just let the men have it, In fact, they don't really want it. And then you would ask, okay, so you do feel aroused. Why have you not had sex yet? That's for the second key point of the book, which is for sexuality, there's actually an accelerator and a brake, just like a car. Accelerator are the things that make you aroused or want sex, right? So actually, for my personal case, my accelerator is just the thing that triggers me. It's a little bit weird. It's not very common. But then, if the trigger appears, I actually respond. So my accelerator is normal. And then there's this brake. The brake means the thing that stops you from wanting sex. For example, stress, right? Like people, when you're super tired, of course you don't want to have sex. Or if you're running for your life, you're worrying about your livelihood, how are you going to want sex? But actually a small percentage of people do want to have sex when they're stressed. But again, let's get back to the variety, right? People respond to different contacts or cues in different ways. And other common breaks, for example, for a lot of women, body image. If they feel ashamed of themselves, if they feel they're unworthy, they're very afraid to show their body to someone, or when they get their clothes off, it's too vulnerable. And then they're just hitting the brake on sexuality, so they do not enjoy it because of shame. And some, like if they worry about pregnancy, a woman is not going to enjoy sex. I mean, for me personally, I'm super hypersensitive to vulnerability and trust and connection. Meaning that if in my mind I have doubt toward that guy, I'm thinking whether he loves me, whether I'm safe with him, whether he has other women in his mind and all that. If that thought comes into my mind, I just hit the brake completely, so I cannot have sex. It's just for me to remove that barrier, I need a lot of time together. I need a lot of devotion, and the guy has to like me because of who I am, not because he can get some from me. I mean, you heard about my love triangle before, so without love, I cannot have sex. Would that make it super difficult for me to find a husband? Yes, but is there something wrong with me? No. Should I be ashamed of who I am? No. So I guess the take-home message is to be aware of yourself and your partner's sex trigger and also sex break. For example, some husband, they want their wife to get aroused, and the only way they know is, trying their own trigger, which is physical buttons, right? And they're grabbing something or, licking something, and sometimes there's no response. But maybe the woman would be aroused when they feel they're loved and cared for. So maybe the husband doing house chore for tonight would arouse the wife, right? So just have an honest conversation about what are your triggers, what are the things that turn you off, and accept each other for who you are. Sometimes lovingly serve each other for their need will give you amazing sex. And stay non-judgmental on how you feel. There's no supposed to be aroused. So if something happens that you don't feel triggered, that's fine. You don't respond to that. And you own that confidently, you're normal. Or if there's something weird that just gets you excited, that's also normal. If you actually sit in a sex therapist office and listen to how many weird sex fantasies people have, you will realize that what you have is just, unoriginal, okay? So don't feel ashamed. A lot of people have weird stuff. That's why a trusting and intimate relationship where two people accept each other for everything matters for great sex. A lot of marriages are broken because one part feels they have something weird sexually and they're ashamed to tell their partner, and they would get it outside the marriage, and then the marriage breaks apart. That's just very sad. Maybe the other person is okay with that and you're both happy. So be honest about everything you need and want about sex. So this is how the book helps me to make me own my own sexuality without any shame. And also during dates, I'm able to express what makes me feel good. And I have to say it transformed my dating life from someone dreading it and feeling something wrong with me to someone that is confident and know what she wants and ask for what she wants. So my dating right now is pretty awesome. Therefore, highly recommend this book. And also this TED Talk from the author about unwanted arousal. Just amazing, beautiful, and powerful. Highly recommend.